Good morning traders, Joseph here from Eightcap. Welcome to this week's Asian session outlook. So we'll start with a quick wrap up of Friday. So the non-farm payrolls ended the week and we saw unemployment in US slip, and we also saw it slip down to 3.4%. Canadian unemployment hit 5%, and we saw average earnings come in higher than expected at 0.5%, and the employment change came in higher than expected at 253k. So it was higher than the last data and higher than what was expected. So the reaction from the markets at the beginning was a little bit mixed, but then buyers really did come back in, and we saw some pretty good gains to cap off the week for stocks, and we can just see that session there for the US 30. The futures have started today just a slightly bit lower, and we'll just have a look at some of the other indexes. So you can see that rally. It was a firm rally, and it just shows that the market saw it as good news, and we can just see here with the NDX 100, it is testing this resistance level just up here, and if we do see a breakout there, we'll be looking for a continuation. So focus will be on data this week can help continue to drive buying, or the other focus will be is if that was a one-day event, and if we do see data come out and it has a negative impact based on what the Fed was talking about last week in the FOMC, and if we do see selling redevelop. So that's really the resistance area to keep an eye on for the NDX, and that's at 13,258. The US 30, I don't really have any key levels just yet. That key level to test is really up here at 34,270, and for the SPX 500, that level here is 41,7850. So stocks so far today in the positive. So we're seeing the ASX is up 0.59% with those positive leads, and the Nikkei is actually down 0.46% at this stage. So we'll continue to watch, and the Kospi is trading 0.64% higher. So today we do have a couple of bank holidays. That's for the coronation of King Charles. So there's a bank holiday in the UK and in France today. So the dollar is slightly higher at this stage in the morning, but we can see this support here. It's at 10, really at 101 even, and it was a pretty flat night after that data. We can see a bit of a pullback here as well after a bit of a rally. So it's a mixed session for the dollar, and at this stage in the morning we're seeing gains from the risk majors against the dollar and to the yen. So the Aussie is leading the push at the moment with a 0.35% rally so far to the Japanese yen, and resistance is at 91.21, and the pound as well is putting on a second day of gains after Friday's push, and that also could be a continuation here. It's a nice move above that previous high, so definitely a watch on this to see if we can get a new test of 171.86, and the Aussie as well to the USD. This is continuing on from where it left off from Friday, and that is the key resistance to have a look at today at 67.84. The dollar yen is trading higher at this stage at 0.27%. I'll just update that. I think with MetaTrader 5 is sometimes it does take a little bit of time to update. There's nothing really here. This is just a bit of support to watch down at 133.59, and there's a little bit more support at 134.16. And gold was interesting. So this is where it is interesting. We're going to get to this. So we've seen a really good pullback now with US stocks rising, discounting the NFP. So for whatever reason, we saw very strong performance on Friday from stocks. So it looks like a lot of banking stocks as well were bought. So it does look like some of the traditional hedges that we're seeing over the banking crisis have moved lower. And this is being reflected here with this pullback by gold, even though the dollar did not have a good day on Friday. And if we look at Bitcoin as well, we can see Bitcoin pulled back. So Bitcoin had a pullback over the weekend and is trading lower this morning by 1.31%. So it does have us thinking about the role that those two have been playing over the last couple of weeks, and with money returning back into equities on a pretty solid form, we're going to see more losses in some of those possible hedging assets that we've seen over the banking crisis. So that's a couple of things we're going to watch this week. Just really the role of cryptos and gold at the moment, so where they're at. So gold could be just profit taking that got a little bit carried away, but definitely it does line up with stocks rallying and after some declines after the banking issues that we've been watching. Gold's been a key winner, as have cryptos, and we're now seeing them pull back. So that's just one thing we're going to keep an eye on during this week. Data-wise this week, there's a bit to keep a bit to watch. We're going to go over that. So there's nothing really coming out today and tomorrow. There's a lot of low impact, but from Wednesday things do get a bit more interesting. So US CPI is coming out. That's year on year, month on month, and core CPI. So for the month on month, they're looking for 0.4%, which is an increase over the last data. They're looking for the year on year to remain stable at 5%, and they're looking for a slight reduction on the last data. For the core CPI at 0.3%. Now the inflation news keeps going for this, out of the US. We also have the UK interest rate decision, so they're looking for an increase of 0.25 basis points to 4.50%, and the US PPI comes out on Thursday as well, and they're looking for an increase of 0.2% on the month-on-month, sorry, for the core month-on-month, and the PPI month-on-month to come in at 0.3%. Unemployment claims slight tick up to 2.45k. Now, as the week goes on, we have GDP as well on Friday from the UK. They're looking for 0.0%, so that's basically just to maintain the level that came in last reading. And to round off the week, we have the UAM consumer sentiment out of the States, looking for a slight drop at 63.0. So with risk sort of coming back into the fray, we'll just look to some of the risk markets to see if they can continue on. The euro, for instance, has gapped lower. Sorry, wait for that to update. The euro had a pretty flat night on Friday. It is trading a slightly lower, but it still remains range bound, and we've got resistance here at 1.1059, and then there's support at 1.0970. So that'll be the area we'll be trading between. The ASX this morning has put on a nice open, but we have seen a lot of selling pressure up here at 7365. So if it does get it back up to these kind of areas, will we see more selling come back in? That'll be an area we'll keep an eye on during this week. There's not much data apart from the US data coming out, so it may be reflective of just how that inflation data comes out and what it means for US stocks, and then leads to the ASX. And for the JPN 225, we're seeing there was a beautiful rally on Friday. It's just such a really strong move, and we're just looking to see how buyers go, and if we can get back up and test this 29 area. Oil's another one to watch this week. We saw a really beautiful move on Friday, and we are wondering now if we have this move down, which is ticked a little bit of a shoulder here, and it is taking a V pattern. So if we do see a move up and a little short retracement and another move, the possibility of a V reversal pattern in play. But with this decline here, we'll just have to see what buyers can do over the next few sessions this week to see if we can get another push higher, and if this recovery is actually for real. Crypto wise, Ethereum's probably the biggest, seeing the biggest selling. There was a very strong move off 1993. There is some support down here which is already being seen, and that's at 18, around that that 1867 area. So we'll see if that can continue to hold. And just some of the other crypto markets today, we are seeing a bit of red. Look to see if further gains can be found with off some of these support levels. For instance, on Ripple, there's 0.447 here. So if we can see a hold, and just what it means with US equities coming back online, if we're going to see more money moving out of cryptos that has been parked there due to various reasons. So that's really today's update. So just the CPI data is quite important, and the PPI, as Powell did comment last week during the FOMC, that there is data dependent. So if that CPI data comes in hotter than expected, what that is going to mean for the US and the inflation picture and the rates picture going forward. So we'll wrap it up there. Thank you very much for your time today. Keep an eye on some of the risk markets as we move forward through today's Asian session towards the London Open. Thanks for your time this morning. If you're enjoying our content, please feel free to subscribe, and we wish you a fantastic week, and thanks very much. All the best for your trading today, and bye for now.